radio all the way. It's all about business, entertainment all day. Educative, qualitative, informative, and entertaining all day. All the way. Impact Business Radio all the way. It's all about business, entertainment all day. Educating, qualitative, informative, and entertaining all the way. All day.
Shot IBR all my people who know better shot IBR all my people who know better shot IBR all my people who know better shot IBR all my people. Informating, entertaining, comprehensive, educative, 92.5 FM who know better shot IBR all my people. Hey, Impact Business Radio 92.5 straight out of Ibadan, Oyo State, Nigeria. To the world, you don't know, we mean business.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is, the most listened to radio show on the planet.
The Avalanche.
Even the other stations are tuned in too.
That was why they were telling me to step down the beer. I said, no, I won't step it down. They just missed a glorious opportunity to write their names in history, one. And secondly, a glorious opportunity to have a choice in the future. I can tell you what will come next is a bill that will say you are serving in government. You are in public space, so your children will use facility that is public. That's what will happen next. I am not prophesying, but write it down today. You heard it first from me. That is what will happen. We're going to have a revolution in this country. It's not going to be a coup. It's not going to be people shooting their way to power or anything. Nigerians will elect a radical. No antecedent, nothing. A radical, because you see, we have elected people with antecedent. They didn't do anything with it. This one, we don't know where he's coming from, but we like what we are hearing. They will elect the person based on that. And that person will go there and say, write on that popular vote and say, if you are in government, including myself, my children will go to public school. And that will stop all this. So they had the opportunity of still voting for this and subjecting themselves to this scrutiny. They threw it away. Most of us have our children in private schools. This bill is not saying withdraw your children from private schools. The bill is not saying if you have your children schooling overseas, you should withdraw them. Because it's not a decree, it's a law. It's only a decree that you can make today and then backdate it. A law made by a democratic house doesn't operate like that. And I know they are aware of this. So it's their own lot to worry about. It's not for me. It's not whether I'm optimistic, whether they will subject themselves to that. They just missed a golden opportunity to choose a lesser evil. It will happen that they will be denied the opportunity of sending their children to private schools. So I will be here laughing, and they will remember me for this. It makes me feel bad that we cannot read the signs. It's there, it's obvious, looming very large, that there's danger out there. We are politicians. We go to our constituencies. We see the anger on the streets, but yet we close our eyes to the fact that it's going to be okay. It's never going to be okay. Something is going to give, and it's not going to give 20 years from today. It's going to give like tomorrow. Until we stand on the side of history to correct those things now, this doomsday is not coming, it's here already. I'm not a professor, but I can see it and I can feel it. This is not the same country I grew up in. Most of these public schools we are talking about today, we attended those schools. You go back to the schools today, you see male students cooking from every hostel. In our days, guys, they used to cook. Ladies, girls don't cook. The cafeterias are there. Unless those are living outside the campus. So if you want to eat good food, you go there. They will be, if you have a girlfriend, she will cook for you. That's how what used to happen. But go there today. And then they don't have the basic learning tools in schools. Research institutions don't have things for research. Lecturers are not paid, and we say it's okay. We should take steps to change this. We say it's okay. It's not okay. So I know, and I'm shocked and surprised that people can't see this, because it's the usual Nigerian thing that, well, it's okay, we're going to get by. No. So we should be making laws right now that can cure the ill or the evil that's been happening in the last 30, 40 years. Not for dragging. We're just taking it as if, oh, well, we'll get by. No. It's already late. We don't have the time. Time is of the essence. We need to make laws right now to correct things we didn't do in the past. But unfortunately, we still think we will survive it. But I'm sorry to say that we don't have the time.
Yes, good evening and welcome to yet another exciting edition of The Avalanche, your number one social, cultural, and mental health program for youth on radio and for, of course, for every one of us out there. Yes, that was Honorable Sergius Ogun, talking there, saying that he actually, what we know that he did was that there was a bill that is sponsored. And it says, well, all public servants must send their children to Nigerian public school, whether secondary or even tertiary institution. Well, on that note, I say good evening and welcome to this exciting edition again. Of course, on Thursday, the 3rd of March 2022, representing Ishan, Southeast, Northeast, Honorable Sergius Ogun, again sponsored a bill entitled A Bill for an Act to regulate international studies for wards and children of Nigerian public officers, to strengthen indigenous institutions, provide efficient educational services for national development, and for related matters. Remember, it was the second time within 4 years that the lawmakers would reject the bill sponsored by a member of the House and the person of Sergius Ogun. Leading the debate on the bill at the second reading, Ogun noted that the proposal will strengthen indigenous educational institutions to meet global standards, boost the economy by reducing cash flight and foreign exchange, reduce brain drain, and institute good welfare conditions for indigenous academics, experts, and professionals based abroad to come back home and develop their country with their skills and expertise. The lawmaker added that it would build a better society for developing formidable educational institutions and facilitate the realization of the fundamental objectives and policies of states as enshrined in Chapter 2 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended Cap C23 LFN 2004. And he said, in part, the bill is proposed against the background of falling standards in our educational system and the need to bring the sector up to speed with global best standards. Unfortunately, as a result of this inability of the government to provide quality education in its public educational institutions, Nigerians have resorted to private schools and foreign schools for their children. And if you look at it very well, you understand that, for instance, report shows that Ghana alone gets 160 billion naira of Nigerian students' fund, while the United Kingdom gets 80 billion naira from Nigerian students. About 75,000 Nigerians are said to be studying in Ghana, paying over $1 billion annually for tuition fees and upkeep. Well, a lot has been actually said, and we've seen a lot has really happened. Well, if you're just tuning in, the program is The Avalanche, and we're discussing education, tourism in Nigeria, and House of Representative failed intervention. Now, remember the Section 4 of the rejected bill provided that a public officer shall not send his ward or children overseas for studies without declaration of interest, subject to approval. Well, we've just listened to what he actually said. Well, meanwhile, I have a guest on phone, not really physically this time, but then virtually tonight, who's going to help me shed a light on this topic that I have in front of me tonight. So, well, he's a human rights lawyer, an activist, and he also doubles as the interim chairman of ASCAB. Comrade Femi Aborishade is on the Avalanche. Hello, sir. Hello. Hello. All right, I think he's struggling to hear me, or for me to hear him. All right. Okay. All right, comrade. We can hear you clearly here too. It's good to have you on the Avalanche once again, sir.
Thanks so much for having me.
All right. I've listened to the words of Honorable Sergius Ogun, and as a lawyer, what's your perspective to this, to his sponsored bill?
No, I think that that bill ought to be supported. It is in good spirit. It is along the line of the Constitution, the spirit and letters of the Constitution. It ought to have been passed if truly the legislators had the interest of the masses of Nigeria at heart. But their refusing to pass it shows that they do not have the interest of the Nigerian people at heart. Let me say that when I contested to be governor of Oyo State in 2003, the content of that bill was part of my campaign promises that I will not send my own children abroad for education, that I will not, and no member of my family will go abroad for medical treatment. I was not alone. Our leader then, the late Chief Kadifawehimi, also made similar undertakings. In actual fact, as far as the NCP, National Conscience Party, led by the late Chief Kadifawehimi, was concerned, he, as the presidential candidate of the National Conscience Party, and the rest of us who were contesting one position or the other, we had to sign undertakings that we will not send our children abroad for education, that we will not go abroad for medical care, that our children or our members of our family will not go abroad for medical care.
All right.
This is because when those who are ruling do not have the opportunity to escape the realities of Nigeria, they will devote enough resources, enough public wealth to provide education for the teeming masses of the people.
All right. Well, I haven't said that. A lot has really been, been said, and a lot of contention in the House, talking about the lawmakers. And let me ask, does the bill in any way violate the fundamental human right of a Nigerian, which guarantee freedom of movement, as stated by some of the lawmakers?
No, the bill does not in any way inhibit movement. The bill is about government providing education for the masses of our people. As it is today, public education has been destroyed. And public education has been destroyed because those who are ruling us in the legislative, executive arms of government, they do not have their children schooling in Nigeria. They send their children abroad for education. Not even the children of councillors in Nigeria take education in Nigeria. They take education abroad. That is why they can afford not to be sensitive to the demand of the academic staff union of universities. Also, they are interested in destroying public education.
All right.
They are not interested in public education. Also, for example, in 2012, the federal government set up a committee to assess the needs of the universities and provide an estimate of how much it would need to put the university system in a manageable level. And that committee came up with a report that it will require 1.3 trillion naira. That was in 2012. 1.3 trillion naira to be raised within 5 years. Behold, it was only 200 billion that was paid into that fund in 2013.
Okay, comrade.
No additional payment
Okay.
has been made.
Okay,
Does
comrade.
it mean that Nigeria cannot afford 1.3 trillion?
All right, comrade. Let me hold you on. Let me hold you on there a little bit. I want to read the section 6 of the bill that provides the steps for getting approval. It says a public officer declaring interest in sending his ward or child abroad for further studies shall submit the following document for consideration: a complete form stating the name and address of the public officer, the name and age of the child or ward, his level of education, name of intended school abroad, duration of study, and number of children studying abroad. The number B says letter of appointment. C says bank statement of account. D, salary pay slip. The E is declaration of assets form. And F, and sworn affidavits stating that he is financially capable of sponsoring his education. Now, having said all of this according to this section 6, now does this really violate? Because a lot have been said about this bill that has been sponsored by Honorable Sergius Ogun, and some of them are saying it violates their rights because some of them were actually they were capable before they even ascended the office.
Yes, like I said before, that bill has nothing to do. It is not connected with. It has nothing to do. It does not affect the freedom of movement. Not at all. But let me say this. If I had the opportunity, I would actually want an amendment of that bill. There is no need for any permission of any minister to be sought. A bill ought to prohibit public officers, particularly elected public officers, sending their children abroad for education. When you now say they should apply for the consent of any minister, you are watering that bill down. So I disagree with that portion. The bill ought to be a prohibition of public officers sending their children abroad. Because from the point of view of the Constitution, education is a right, and qualitative education ought to be provided for all Nigerian children by virtue of Section 18, 3A to E. Education ought to be provided, qualitative education ought to be provided free. It is a right. But because they know they are not interested in providing public education, because they are interested in prioritizing their own creed, and prioritizing public education, that is why they opposed the bill.
Okay,
Come to think about it.
comrade,
If
you
quality education can be provided in Nigeria, as it was in the past.
okay?
When foreign students were attending our own institutions here, polytechnics and universities in the past,
All right.
you come across students from all parts of the world in the Nigerian institutions in the past.
Okay, comrade, you've actually made your point.
Was high.
Yes, you've actually made your point, and actually, I'm sure everyone is listening to you. And you're cutting short because of our time, because I want to take some few calls from some of our listeners to actually lend their voice as well. So you're cutting short as you go.
My party in short is that the Nigerian people should insist that those who are governing us, public officers, do not have the right to send their children abroad for education, that they do not have the right to go abroad for medical care. They should devote resources to provide public education and medical care for the Nigerian masses.
All
If
right.
they are not interested in this, they should not campaign to occupy public offices.
All right.
They should not occupy public offices against public interest.
All right. Thank you so much for featuring on the Avalanche, Comrade Femi Aborishade.
Thanks so much for this opportunity.
All right. Thank you, and
I
we hope
appreciate you.
we hope to actually get
Also,
you
I
some other
appreciate you.
time.
Thanks very much.
All right. You're welcome, sir.
Thank
Well,
you for your public interest program.
all right. Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
All right. Well, I was actually speaking with Comrade Femi Aborishade. He's actually a human rights activist and, of course, a human rights lawyer, and he doubles as the interim chairman of ASCAB. Well, I want to hear from you out there. You've heard what he said, and, of course, you heard from the lawmaker himself, who actually sponsored a bill that says every public officer must be able to send their wards or kids down here in Nigeria to go attend public secondary schools or even public higher institutions. You can begin to call right now 0902 280 9257 0902 280 9257. I have my first caller here. Hello.
Samson.
Oh, Chief Oyedele from his own kingdom. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. I want to thank my senior in judiciary. Yeah, that's well. Yes, I want to thank the one of the representative that said that sending your children abroad for education should be prohibited. Yes, according to 2 or 3 maxim inequity, which I want to take because I know time is already gone. Equity will not cover in Iran to that. Thank God that for the all 6 months, right from the past week, from the previous day, they are talking about everything. Yeah, something can come from message. We thank God for that. Yeah, equity follow the law. Let it be taught law. He who comes to equity must do equity. Equity on that and so my point that delay defeat equity, that's something. Equity aid only vigilance. Please, but indolent. They need to do something right. Because technique cannot solve the problem. That is why they go like this. Because instead of their children is fine, public care is school. This thing is wrong. According to they should not put in that thing close here. We should know that having the school. Look at the private one. The private one, they are not competing with the other one. It's a bad thing. So don't let me multiply.
All right.
You are wonderful.
Thank you so much for your call, Chief Oyedele from his own kingdom, a regular caller. Remember, you can still call into the live studio right now, 0902 280 9257, or you can better still call 0916 104 7698, 0916 104 7698, or 0811 052 6487, 0811 052 6487. Remember, we're discussing education tourism in Nigeria and House of Representative failed intervention. I want to bring us down the memory lane. Recall that Ogun had sponsored a similar bill in the last National Assembly at the second reading of the bill on December the 5th, 2018. And of course, the proposal suffered a setback as it was stepped down based on warnings by members of the House. And of course, the then Speaker, Yakubu Dogara, who noted that the bill was presented on April the 11th, 2017. What he did is stood down the bill based on the demands by members. Yeah, these are all the things that has actually happened. This is not the first time the bill has been actually proposed and sponsored. This is the second time in 4 years that this has been done, and I feel that we need to do a whole lot. A whole lot has to be done concerning this. I can still take 1 or 2 calls before I call off for the day, and of course you can call 0902-280-9257 or 0916-104-7698 or 0811-052-6487. Now, the bill has actually been said concerning the issue of all the officers, public officers. You want to do it. Well, for me, I'm sure that if you do not have any issue with that, you should actually go with it. Public officers, declare your assets, declare everything. Let it be. I'm not sure. These are not too much to ask. But then if you feel otherwise, you can actually call in so we can actually get to hear what you need to say concerning this. Remember that 2 months, additional 2 months has been added to the supposed strike that was actually embarked on by the by ASU, Academic Staff Union of Universities, and they are not backing down on this. They said, well, the 2009, that's the thing that actually asked, their request for 2009 must actually be done before the time. Well, unfortunately, our time has been fast spent, and I have to just go at the moment. But before I go, I want to let all of us know that education is paramount. If you know that you really love the nation, you love the people, you should take education. All of these young people that are out there right now, an idle mind, they say, is the devil's workshop. Allow them to go back to